Hey there, you're watching Bourbon Battles. My name's Joe. Today's Sunday, and it's Super Bowl Sunday. So what do we got for you? We got the battle of the Kansas City and the California whiskeys coming at you next. Okay, folks, this is going to go out before kickoff, and you might want to place your bets on the winner because we're going to accurately predict the Super Bowl by determining which whiskey is better, the Kansas City whiskey or the California whiskey. We'll tell you a little bit about those as we get into them. So first of all, we got from Kansas City, we got Riegers whiskey. Very interesting product, right, guys? We'll get into all of that. If you've never had it, maybe it's worth checking out. Same with this Redwood Empire. If you've had either one of these, let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know who you think is going to win blind. And if the Riegers wins, we're going to predict Kansas City to win the Super Bowl. If the Redwood Empire wins, we're going to predict the San Francisco 49ers to win the Super Bowl. So there you had it. There you said it. We are going to accurately predict this. And, of course, we're going to drink these blind. And if you don't know why we drink them blind, it's because here at Bourbon Battles, we don't give a rat's ass what's on the label. We just like good whiskey. So here's how it works. We got 2 sample bottles. These are completely blind. I don't know which one's which. And we got an envelope with the answer key. I'm going to put that bad boy right there. Okay, I always have to do these backwards so they're frontwards to you. 1 and 2. We're going to get into these. And like I said, you might want to move where you put your bets. Let me know in the comments who you think is going to win the Super Bowl and who you think is going to win this. So this is a fun one. These are number 1. Kind of like Sharpie, books, all that kind of stuff on the nose. Probably pot stilled. I don't know. These are, so I did a little research when I came up with these that are all in the answer key, so I can't reveal it yet. These things are pretty stinking interesting products in general. I'm going to get through these pretty quick. That way we can talk about them. Nose on number 2 wins, hands down. It doesn't have... Yeah, nose on number 2 is better. And these are real similar proof points. I think 92 and 90, something to that effect. All right, let's taste number 1 here. You're going to see what it is. That's very, very interesting. And I think by tasting it, because I did the research, I know what it is. That's good too. This is actually a pretty good blind, and I didn't really anticipate it for it to be. I just was kind of doing something fun for the Super Bowl. This is one of the first, when I started collecting whiskey, probably one of the first 25 bottles I got, the Redwood Empire, because I'd seen a video on it from somebody in YouTube that gave it very high accolades, and the parent company is Redwood Empire. This happens to be the Pipe Dream expression. They get super high accolades, super well thought of. I always thought it was MGP, which as we get into this, you're going to find is not exactly true. This is tough. Before I started this, I would have said the Redwood Empire is going to win this. It's not even going to be close. It's going to be crazy. So this was given to me, the Riegers, by a viewer. And I don't honestly remember. It's probably been 2 years ago this was given to me. I don't honestly remember what I thought about it. I did not taste it prior to just now. Same with the Redwood Empire. I probably haven't tasted it in a couple of years. So these are very new to me. It's one of the downfalls of a larger whiskey collection. You get stuff pushed in the back that you forget about. There's just something I was looking at the other day. I was like, oh man, I just really forget how good this was. And I'm looking up there, it's like I got some very old Barton pushing in the back here. One of my favorite finished whiskeys, the Rabbit Hole Sherry finished. It's in the back. I can't even reach it, so I don't drink it. That'd be a good one to do against the new blind against the new Chattanooga whiskey. Okay, I'm going to put just a little drop of water in each of these just for shits and giggles, just to see if it makes any difference. And if you're wondering why I do this, right? A little drop of water, we're not necessarily emulating an ice cube, right? We're just trying to get some of those oils to open up and for the whiskey to do different things. You'd be surprised just what a drop will do in an ounce of whiskey. And sometimes that drop does good and sometimes it does bad. I typically don't like it, and that really didn't change any of my opinion. So let's get right down to it. So as we know, the San Francisco 49ers are favored to win the Super Bowl. If you are just watching this, and you probably know that the California whiskey is favored to win this blind. So are we going to have an upset in this? I don't know. Let's find out. Go to the envelope. And the winner is, I picked number one. Number one is the Riegers. We do have an upset. The Kansas City whiskey comes with the upset. So let's talk about the loser first, the Redwood Empire. These are both actually very good. I was actually surprised that these have sat on the shelf for so long, and I haven't got into them. So the Redwood Empire, we call it's the pipe dream expression. It is a bourbon, bottled and aged in Sonoma, California. That's why we picked it. 90 proof. It's at least 4 years old. If you buy a bottle, they'll plant a tree, which is super, super cool in my opinion. It almost makes it worth doing it. It's distilled in, here's the catcher, right? I thought this was an MGP product. It's distilled in Indiana, so there's some MGP in there, Kentucky, Tennessee, and California. So it's a blend of all kinds of stuff. Makes it really interesting, right? I don't know what they're getting out of Kentucky. I'm sorry, out of California that they're putting in there, but pretty cool, right? So it works perfectly for this blind. Now the winner. This really, really, really surprises me. Riegers, it's 6 years old on average. We're going to get into that. It's 92 proof. It's bottled and blended by the Jacob Riegers and Company. I'm going to read you a little bit about them in Kansas City, Missouri. It's a rectified product from around the world with blends that include light whiskey, that's probably MGP, rye whiskey, that's probably MGP, but I don't know, and a small amount of 15-year Oloroso sherry, which is why this is not a bourbon. It doesn't meet the rules of bourbon. So founded in 1887 in Kansas City, Missouri, Jacob Riegers and Company was one of the largest makers of fine quality spirits in the Midwest. Forced to close during Prohibition, it took 95 years to perfect the resurrection of the iconic brand. Our Kansas City whiskey is a pre-Prohibition styled whiskey consisting of corn, malt, rye, with a trace amount of dry sack 15-year Oloroso Especial sherry. And it says, oh, so good. So very, very interesting there. These both have kind of really cool stories, right? I say check them out. You have to Google the pricing. I don't think either one of these is very expensive. So the Kansas City whiskey prevails, and I picked the Kansas City Chiefs and Taylor Swift to win the Super Bowl in 2024 based on this prediction. Let's see if we get it right. Hey, I want to remind you, Super Bowl's a big weekend. There's a lot of people out on the road. I want you to enjoy your whiskey responsibly. Do it with friends. Do it blind when you can, but whatever you do, don't drink and drive. See you next time.
If you drink, don't drive, do the watermelon crawl.